That's right, you just heard the sound. You know what that is. It is now time for our last segment, Restaurant Reality, where we go in depth about the tough topics that no one wants to talk about. We'll provide our listeners with first hand accounts on buying and selling a restaurant and everything in between.
So, this show has been looking at actually the forecast of 2014, what's going on in the industry and what can be expected. And Eric, there was a really recent report that was out by Biz Buy Sell, who's the nation's largest business for sale marketplace. It's also owned by the Wall Street Journal. Their survey of third quarter showed that small business transactions were up 42% over the same time period for second quarter. So that's 1,700 closed transactions versus 1,000 for the prior 3 months. And the reality is, our business was pretty much on par with those numbers, right?
That's right. And we have, a tremendous growth in the third quarter of this year, as well as through the entire past year. We've seen restaurant sales as a whole, just retail sales. I mean, our client sales have been up through this year. I believe the forecast is going to be in the 4 to 5% range to close the year end, and I believe it's around the same amount for 2014. So the outlook for people transacting restaurant, as well as being in the restaurant industry, looks very bright for 2014, Robin.
Yeah, and the reality of the business is that when the economy is tough, then restaurant sales are tough, and restaurants for sale actually kind of increase. And the economy's improved over the last year. So we've seen better pricing, we've seen pricing go up, and we've seen a lot more business, and especially in terms of franchise resales, and those pull stronger multiples, and that pulls the entire marketplace up together.
Yeah. I mean, prices were up. The stock market has been up. A lot of people are drawing their money out of the stock market now and try to invest into a business on their own, and that also is bringing new buyers and new money to the industry. And we've seen that people are coming with more amount of cash. They're still looking for owner financings. We're talking about lending this year was a better year. Robin, would you agree with that?
Lending was much different from the last few years. I mean, we have seen banks courting restaurant brokers to say, listen, bring us deals, where in the past they were hands off. And we're not the only ones. The SBA said that they did 54,106 loans to small businesses, and that's up over the same time period for 2012. And I only see that number increasing. What happens when the banks are lending, there is a lot more sales transactions taking place, because instead of us looking for a buyer out there that's got $300,000 or $400,000, we're looking for a buyer that has about 25% of that number, so $75,000 to $100,000, and there are a lot more of those buyers out there.
Yes, you're right, and we've seen a lot. Robin and I have been getting a lot more invitations from bankers this year to talk about restaurant lending and to go and talk to them about opportunities, and want us to present opportunities for restaurants, because we always know that it is more difficult to get a loan for our restaurants. But I believe banks are a bit more bullish about even the food service industry in this year, and I believe we'll see that in 2014 with much better opportunities for lending.
And one thing that banks really like are franchises. Whether that's good, bad, or indifferent from your point of view, banks really like franchises. So franchise resales, we have been predicting for several years now that there's going to be a big trend in that. And during the softer economy, here's some of the reasons why. The multi-unit owners that had some low-performing stores, they would just work on the expense line and do what they could. But now they're seeing that there's a marketplace for these. They want to spin them out for somebody who's an owner-operator, because the reality of the business is that a franchisor or franchisee that has 10 or 12 units has to have layered in a lot of staff to cover that, and they have to assign payroll and cars and all kinds of overhead to that particular store. So when they carve it out, and it is not profitable in that scenario, but when it's a single owner operator, somebody who's behind the counter every day, then it flips the dial on this store, and it goes from being in the red to operating in the black. And we see that every day, right?
We sure do. I mean, it's definitely a changing environment out there. We're looking at different things as well. We've heard today from Ken and John about two different markets on West Coast and southern part of Florida, and some of the things that same questions, very different answers, night and day. And I think when you have to look at, if you've been an operator in the industry for a long time, in the 80s and the 90s, it was like, if you build it, they will come. You will build a restaurant anywhere and it will be packed, and it was easy, and people were looking like geniuses. Well, these times are gone. And we went all the way to the other end where Robin talked about franchises, where they take literally a software program and says, okay, here's our information, and this is where we need to be. The only problem with that is there's nowhere to be. There's nothing available. So we've gone back and forth with extremes. I think if you're an operator looking to grow, you also got to look at, a combination of both. You got to go drive the streets like they talked about and see the area, understand the marketplace, see what's available. I mean, you may want to be on the 16th Street Mall in Denver, Colorado, or you may want to be around Miser in Boca Raton. You may want to be Peachtree and Piedmont in Atlanta, Georgia. These markets are very hard to be in. So what do? You just can't wait, because if you wait, there's going to be one place. Robin, what's happening when there's one A-plus location available in the market? What happened then?
Lots of competition, and some of the folks who are competing for those spaces are one of the last reasons why we think that restaurant sales are booming today, and that's because of the baby boomers. They're actually backing out of the business, or in some cases, they're getting in because they may have been laid off in 2008, 2009. They still have cash reserves. They still have 401ks. They're cashing those in and coming into the business. So they are looking for those prime locations. They're hardworking, have lots of money, and have good reminder of the experiences in the restaurant business from when they were younger. And they're like, okay, I want to do this now.
Absolutely. And for those of you that have been listening to the show from the beginning to today, you're like, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of things to do. But here's a little secret that we also can tell you. Ken, John, Robin, myself are restaurant brokers. We know all this stuff. Get a broker to help you with your growth, with your outlook, helping you. We heard John says, I help somebody with a menu. We heard Ken say, I help somebody with setting up his books of records. We are able, a good restaurant broker will be able to help you, connect you in every possible way for the best chance of success. And that's what you get, right, Robin?
That's right. And by the way, it's not like what you see on reality TV. There are some popular restaurant broker shows out there that aren't quite exactly what the real world's about. But the real world is very hopeful for this time period, and we've got some great listings out there. I've got a wonderful opportunity in the Atlanta marketplace. It has a commercial grade kitchen that can turn out anything. It's ready to go with just a very low price tag, only $99,000. Other interesting listings on the marketplace, Eric, any ideas?
We've got so much with the early in the year, Robin. We've got new listings coming daily. I would urge people to come to our website at WeSellRestaurants.com. Check out our listings daily. Call us, email us, look, and even if you don't see it on our site, you see it on BizBuySell, other sites, you can still call us. People may not realize it, but even if we don't have you, we can represent somebody as a buyer and give them our advice and help them getting through the transaction, and most of the cases at no cost to you as a buyer. I mean, if you don't realize that, give us a call, come meet with us, come by our office, call one of our brokers around the country. We will be able to help you and making sure that you have the best chance possible for success, and the outlook will look very, very bright for you for 2014.
Okay, well, that is absolutely a great wrap-up of what the market's going to look like for the 2014 year. Remember, this is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We're the restaurant brokers, and you're listening to We Sell Restaurants. We are the industry leader in restaurants for sale, franchise restaurant resales, and site location for the food service industry. Our firm closes 90% of all listings. That is unprecedented in this industry. Visit us online at WeSellRestaurants.com.